What's up guys, it's Chris with TRC back with another one, and as you can see behind me, got something pretty cool. So it's a 1980 Monte Carlo twin turbo LS, just all the goodness. So about to take a ride and let you guys hear more about it. Hey, what's up guys? So in the Monte Carlo, got Nick here.
How's it going?
And this thing is killer. Love, see if I can get already one of my favorite things. Where is that button? Check this out. Rocket launch. So that's for the trans brake, and I always like it when you get a little humor. There was the pop. Yeah, there was the pop. Nice, man. Dude, it was ready to go. The rocket launch switch was about to just take it where it needed to be. Just drag in general, but we're gonna hit the freeway, do a couple rolls for you guys. Here we got the leash electronics, air fuel, check out the radio, plastic. You know what's surprising is how high the dash is. Yes. Like, I'm a tall person and
feel like you're down in a hole?
Yeah, a little bit. This is kind of him, really the first road miles you've got to drive it.
Yeah,
really
probably have about 50 miles on the car before today. Either one.
I'm not even sure how well you guys can hear me. It's pretty loud in here. Not ear-piercing loud, but it's loud. So what did we hit on that one?
15 psi.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And you said you've kind of been messing around with it up to 19-ish.
Yeah.
All right. So more boost this time. It's always the recipe for success.
I'm Nick Lemcool. This is my 1980 Monte Carlo. As for the current motor, it's a iron 5.7 with Gen 4 internals, all stock. The only thing really aftermarket in it is a BTR twin turbo camshaft, push rods and valve springs. Everything else is all factory components. Both the turbos are off of big trucks, a Series 60 Detroit GT42s. Ended up getting them off two different trucks. They were in great shape when they were pulled off, but there's nothing wrong with them. Being that I'm a diesel mechanic, I have used a lot of that information and knowledge and parts into the build to get where it is. Most of the stuff that I bought for it to get the turbo system done was CX Racing. It's their wastegates, their headers, and the rest of the stuff I built with aluminum piping and done the exits out the fenders and everything. And I learned all the TIG welding doing all that. I modified the CX Racing intercooler, the water-to-air intercooler, to fit in the car between the radiator and the engine. The water piping goes all the way to the trunk, and I have a reservoir in the trunk for ice water. I'm running a boost leash boost controller. I've got, instead of using CO2, I'm using an air compressor in the trunk to control the boost pressure. And that way, when I'm on the street, I don't have to worry about losing CO2, and I can still control boost. The car is currently running a Holley Terminator system that my buddy Derek wired in. He wired everything with the Deutsch connectors, and the whole car is completely wired with his doing. All the wiring is set up so that it can be unplugged easily, and the whole dash can be completely disassembled in like 5 minutes. We did that just for ease of working on it. On this car, I have a Turbo 400. It's been in the car since I started building the car. I've built it every time. It's probably on its third build, but I've gotten into, it's got a trans brake. The boost leash does the pulse function for the staging, and I've got a CK Performance valve body, trans brake valve body, reverse manual valve body, and a Yank 3600 converter. To keep the car streetable, I'm running dual fuel pumps, one in tank and one out of tank. The in tank pump is a 450 liter per hour, and the external pump is a Aeromotive eliminator pump, and running on E85, but it's on a stock fuel tank. I'm running dash 12 braided line to the engine, and 8 through the rails, and then to an Aeromotive eliminator regulator, and then 10 back to the tank with Bosch 210 injectors. I wanted to do as much work myself, so I got a tubing bender and I built the cage, which is a 12-point cage, in my shop by myself, and then I got a different die and did the 3/4 core support, and that way I could move the radiator forward and get room for the intercooler. The rear end in the car is a 12 bolt that I narrowed 2 5/8 per side. Had to mini tub the rear of the car and narrow the frame rails to get the 10-inch wide wheels underneath the car with a 275 60/15s. It has a Mosier 35 spline axle and spool and 390 gear in the rear. The suspension's pretty much all stock, other than aftermarket control arms in the rear. Went to single adjustable strain shocks in the rear, and the wheels are S71 weld wheels with a 17x4 in the front and a 15x10 in the rear. Got Mickey Thompsons at all 4 corners with 275/60 drag radials in the rear. Almost all the work has been done by me or a friend of mine in my shop. He did all the wiring. Almost everything else has been done by me, from the cage to the intercooler piping to welding, all that. I learned to TIG weld on this car. The car has not been dynoed, so I don't know what kind of power output it is at right now. I've been as high as 19 PSI. At the track, I've gotten a 617 in the 8th with a 132 60 foot. We just got the car back together a couple of weeks ago. It's been to the track twice, but on the first outing is when we ran the 617 with a 132 60 foot, and that was on low boost and low timing. The second time we kind of wheelied and got some adjustments we need to make, and but we're hoping to actually step up the boost and the timing and get a lot better ET after that. I tried my best to keep it a streetable car and keep a full interior and have it a fun driving car that I can still take to the track and have fun with there too. I picked up the car from a friend about 4 years ago in a trade. It was bone stock, and we were planning on just basically making a daily driver out of it, and then ended up taking the V6 out and putting a LS and twin turbos on it. The original guy that bought the car bought it for his mom, and she drove it until I guess she could no longer drive again, and then he drove it daily drove it to work and back until my friend picked it up. At the beginning, we just wanted to put everything in the car that I had laying around, from the LS stuff, the transmission, and the 10-bolt rear end, and then it slowly progressed into what we have today, what I have now, and which is a much larger turbo setup, Turbo 400, a narrow 12-bolt, and I guess that's about all I can think of right now.